And welcome back to Holistic Healthline, your direct line to great health. And we are so thrilled to have back as a guest Martie Whittekin, who is a board-certified clinical nutritionist and author of the best-selling book, Natural Alternatives to Nexium and Other Acid Blockers, how apropos to what's going on today. And her new book is entitled The Probiotic Cure. Martie is the host of a long-running syndicated radio talk show, and her website, healthybynatureshow.com, and free e-newsletter are great health resources. Martie joins us today to discuss what you need to know about your immune health, particularly for this fall and winter, because they're saying the flu is going to be significant and the flu shot not so much. Hi, Martie.
Good morning.
Welcome back.
Glad to be with you.
And again, they're putting out all the news. They're putting about, the flu, this is going to be like a really bad one this year. Of course, we kind of hear that every year, but particularly this year is going to be really bad. And already hearing that the flu shot is not going to be that effective, but rush out and get your flu shot. How can we back up our immune system and help it to be healthy and strong?
Well, that is a fantastic question, and if we had an extra hour in this interview, we could do a down payment on the flu shot debate, but man, do we get pressured, and the silly part is, it's not going to be very effective, and the people who are the most subject to problems with the flu, the elderly and the young, oh, by the way, they are the least likely to respond to the flu shots, but y'all get out there and get them anyway. The funny thing is, that's funny, sad, but if you think about it, any group of people, whether it's around the office or around the school, some people get whatever's going around and some people never do. Well, is that just God being mad at those people who get sick? No, it's the people who don't get sick have taken care of their immune system. And sure, there are a lot of external factors like sneeze into your sleeve, stay home if you're sick, don't hang around close proximity to people that are ill, and those kinds of things. Those make sense, but the big thing is take care of your body's ability to fight back.
And your immune system is very multifaceted. It's not just fighting off flu. It's doing, a million jobs all at once. So it seems like, how can we get this very complex mechanism to work better?
Well, if you would ask mainstream medicine, they would say, well, surely we have a drug for that, but they don't. They have some, in the case of specific cancers with the new gene editing, they've got some unbelievably expensive drugs that tell the immune system what to do. But for these more common things like the flu and colds and whatever other kind of communicable diseases are going around, we aren't smart enough to tell the immune system what to do, but internally, our microbiome, that collection of microbes that we have in our intestinal tract, that's part of their job. That's why they have, our bodies, our cells only have like 1% of our DNA, and the rest of it is in our mitochondria and in those little power supplies in the cells, and in the bacteria that protect us from the inside, both sending signals to our immune system and directly fighting things off, and indirectly making sure we've got stomach acid to make sure that we dissolve things that we swallow. We breathe in flu germs or bacteria. They go down the tube into the stomach, and there's supposed to be acid there to dissolve them. So, gosh, the biggest part of our immune system function is located in the gut, and we have to start paying attention to that.
And we've done so much over the years to increasingly beat up that microbiome. if we avoided things like antibiotics and other medications and food that has no nutritional value, then we'd probably be working a lot better for the most part.
Oh, well, great point. And it isn't just the antibiotics that we get directly. We get them indirectly because they use them in agriculture, and not even just for animals. They even put it on plants, and some of these things like Roundup. The core use of that is it has an antibiotic-like substance in it, and we're getting it secondhand through all of the food supply if we don't eat organic. And there's just so many things, like you say, really all drugs, but the chlorine in the water is put there to kill bacteria, and it doesn't take names and say, "Oh, you're a good guy. Let's be kind to you." It's everything, and other ingredients that are in food, like some of the preservatives and even the artificial colors and flavors and dough conditioners. A lot of those chemicals are not friendly to our gut microbes. So the whole idea of processed foods is bad because of all these added ingredients, but also one very important thing that's missing, and that's fiber. Our bacteria, our good guys, love fiber.
A recent study in the journal Cell has shown that helping the microbes in the microbiome actually helps boost the success of getting the flu shot, which is really interesting. But how do we help the microbiome be healthier?
Well, that point, just to help people understand why keeping your microbes in good shape might help with the flu shot, is that the flu shot says, hey, here's what's coming, get ready. But if you don't have sufficient immune strength, it ignores that signal. So, yeah, it makes perfect sense that we would do that. I think job number one is to make sure, there are a lot of things. It's no secret I'm a fan of Dr. O'Hara's probiotics to help create the right environment. But in addition to staying away from those bad foods that have been processed and have all these ingredients and antibiotics and hormones and so on, and we need to eat fibrous foods so that we make the dinner for these good guys what they like to eat. And it needs to be a variety of fibers from different vegetables and fruits and so on, because that gives us a diverse assortment. We need diversity of these bacteria, thousands of different kinds we have. They all have different jobs, and they all like different foods. And so if you see on a probiotic product that it has added prebiotic, meaning food for the bacteria, and it's just one thing like FOS or inulin, that will increase the bulk of bacteria. It does not increase the diversity. So getting lots and lots of different kinds of fruits, vegetables, well, really the kinds of things, the easiest way to say it is the kind of things that they feed the bacteria while they're fermenting Dr. O'Hara's probiotics. They're natural and organic vegetables and fruits and wild-crafted herbs and mushrooms and seaweeds and things like that. They all contain different things that the bacteria like. They take that and then digest it and make the substances that help run our body, the postbiotics.
So they grow these probiotics by feeding them all these fruits and vegetables. What are the other probiotics on the market? Aren't they made the same way?
If only. No, I think the easiest way for people to understand it is think about yogurt. You can make yogurt in your kitchen overnight, and it only takes like one strain of bacteria to do it. Well, they do something along those lines. Sometimes they use soy or some other food, but it's usually dairy. They do it quickly, like overnight, and then they rinse them so that they don't have their food supply. They put them in a centrifuge to get rid of any remnants of the food or what they might have made while they were growing. And then they'll mix together, after they freeze dry them, they'll mix together these powders of maybe 6, 10 different strains that have never seen each other before, let alone work together. And so if they wake up from their freeze-dried coma, they look around and say, oh, I got to get food. Ooh, there's a competitor. Let me get rid of him first.
It's kind of like Survivor.
They have to do all that before they can start helping you.
Martie, again, what else distinguishes Dr. Ohhira's probiotics from all the other probiotics that are being marketed out there?
Well, the 12 strains of bacteria that they use to ferment these superfoods are very well researched to have complementary benefits. And because they take a long time, we talked about the overnight culturing of most probiotic supplements, they take 3 years, which is why you know that it's not done in the U.S. We don't have that kind of attention span, I'm afraid. It comes from Japan, where they have understood for millennia the power of fermented foods. Well, while they're fermenting, they take all of these diverse foods that they're fed and turn them into postbiotics. That's a term I coined over a decade ago to describe what all the things are that they make. They make amino acids and neurotransmitters and essential fatty acids and vitamins even, and they create signaling compounds for the immune system and for the brain. They make just a wide variety of these postbiotics, and that's the reason we really want the bacteria. It's not so much their presence and what they do themselves, that they take these foods and they make them into these useful substances. And no other probiotic, I wish there was another category to put Dr. Ohhira's in, because it does these things. It contains all these postbiotics that are not in any of the other products, and they improve the environment of the intestinal tract so that your thousands of bacteria are different than mine. They're different than Peter's. They're different than the doctor's. Everybody has their own signature blend, and what supports them is a good environment, and Dr. Ohhira's helps with that. And people also love the fact that it doesn't have to be refrigerated, so you can have it with you wherever you are and you need it. They ferment it at room temperature, so that's what it knows.
And it's amazing, because you think, that is kind of the American, I guess, philosophy, one size fits all, as opposed to, okay, let's help your own signature probiotics to be healthier.
Not only one size fits all, but the more the better. The big thing, we've seen in probiotic marketing is...
We have billions of probiotics.
Yeah, if you got billions, then I need trillions, because mine's going to be better.
Yeah, that is. And if you're talking about buying lentils, more pounds for $1 is better. This is just a different thing altogether, and people don't realize that, A, we need the diversity, we need to support our own, and that the numbers, while they sound big, especially compared to our personal budgets, they, in the grand scheme of things, those numbers are kind of meaningless. If you take 100 bacteria, forget a billion, you take 100 bacteria, and you put them in the right environment, they double in numbers every 30 minutes. So I put together a spreadsheet, and I could not believe the answer of what you get in 24 hours. We're talking about bigger than government numbers. Past trillions. So what's really important, have the right bacteria that we know are going to do the things we need, and give them a good environment to live in. And so if you could take 1 trillion of some freeze-dried bacteria and put it in the gut, the immune system's going to say, I don't recognize that. That's out of balance. That's bad, and you're going to get an immune reaction you don't want.
And I've seen some reports how they're saying that, people taking all these zillions of probiotics are causing problems. And also, I want to kind of step back a little bit as far as the prebiotics. Again, you hear a lot of companies are now, because of Dr. O'Hara's having prebiotics, they're adding prebiotics after the fact.
They are. And those, they create food, but it's a kind of a shotgun. You don't know which bacteria it's going to feed. And so what happens is we get the numbers increased in the gut, but they aren't necessarily the ones that we want. They don't foster diversity. They just get us a whole bunch of bacteria. And so while in small amounts those aren't bad, it's just not a substitute for having a wide variety of fibers for the bacteria to eat. And I haven't seen one yet that does anything remarkable in that regard.
And probiotics, obviously good for gut health, and we're talking today about immune health, but we've seen with the Dr. O'Hara's multiple benefits in other areas, like blood sugar balance, for instance. It has a lot of far-reaching effects.
Well, we've known for couple thousand years that health and disease and death all start in the gut. So it's not surprising that if we do a better job on gut health, we're going to see fringe benefits. Drugs, usually we talk about them in terms of their side effects. When you do something really good for body balance, you see fringe benefits. You may have been worried about regularity, and then all of a sudden your skin condition clears up. It's like that because the gut affects every cell, every system, every organ in the body. So it's just critically important, and that we avoid the things. The gut bacteria help us make the hormones we need, and then we overload the system with toxins and things that mimic hormones that damage the hormone system. So it's a constant battle to be supporting the good guys and trying to protect them from these bad chemicals that are in the environment and all these toxins. They not only just directly poison our good guys, but they use up all of our detox nutrients, our vitamin C and selenium and zinc and glutathione. Those all get just ravaged because they're needed to detoxify this junk that's coming into our body. And it's about time we woke up that we have a lot of control over our health, but we have to pay attention. What I say, and I'm sure it's something similar at the Tree of Life Wellness Center, body wants to be healthy, it was designed to be healthy, but there are two prime directives. Give it everything it needs for optimum health, and don't come up the works with excesses it can't handle. And that's our assignment.
And again, I think everybody, this particularly, you can take Dr. O'Hara's year-round, correct, Martie?
Not only can, but should. It creates a base, and so even the essential formula people that brought in Dr. O'Hara's also brought in ME3. That's a particular organism that creates the detoxifying glutathione in the gut. So I think it's great when people take that, but it should be on a base of Dr. O'Hara's. And the threats don't go away just once we get past the holidays, for example. So our gut health should be important year-round.
And cold and flu season has already arrived. It's time to get on the Dr. O'Hara's probiotic. What's the dosage that you usually recommend for adults, and do you also recommend it for children?
I don't think that there is an age too young or too old that can't safely benefit from Dr. O'Hara's. The typical dose is 1 in the morning and 1 at night on an empty stomach, but because the magic of Dr. O'Hara's is in the postbiotics, it doesn't worry me if people can be much more regular taking it with a meal. And if for some reason their budget doesn't allow every day to take 2, then take 1. I mean, I'd rather have them taking something superior like this than what's on the case stack at the big box store just because it's cheap.
Martie, we know we got to let you go because you got to go do your own radio program. We want to thank you so much for taking time.
All warmed up now.
And is there a website that people can go to learn more about Dr. O'Hara's probiotic as well as how to connect with you?
Well, I have connections to essential formulas on my website, healthybynatureshow.com, but they can also go to essentialformulas.com.
Well, again, thank you so much, Martie, and
thank you.
Have a wonderful show on your own. And
appreciate it.
We appreciate it so much. Bye-bye.